Hi again, thanks for joining us for another In Conversation With, and today I'm talking to Kristal Adamson, who is our choir manager. So if you're not sure who she is and you haven't put a face to the name, then welcome Kristal, nice to see you, thanks for joining us.
Hello.
Hello. So first of all, just in case people aren't sure who you are, when did you start working for SC Choirs?
So I officially started working in January as the choir manager, although I did sneak into a few rehearsals in December just to see what was going on.
Yeah, you did, and you were joining in as well. In fact, you've been joining in for some of the rehearsals ever since, actually, haven't you?
Well, they're all having so much fun. I can't help it.
I know, it's really good. So just explain roughly what your role is then for the organisation.
So a lot of it is doing all the emails that you get sent and answering queries and sorting the registers and liaising with you and Sarah with things, and the other management team as well, all the other people that do the behind the scenes things. And now I'm a virtual choir put togetherer. I'm not sure what the actual term is for that.
That's your latest string to the bow.
Yeah, very good.
Yeah, I mean, I must admit you're incredibly organised, and even since January, you know, you've brought a lot to the table. So, what else do you do during the week though to be able to be such an organised person? I know it's not just SC Choirs that you work for, of course.
No, I've got quite a lot of things that I do. The main thing that I do is teach Suzuki violin. That's my thing, and I've been doing that for about 8 or 9 years. No, 8 years. 8 years now. But I also do a baby music class as well for 0 to 3s. That's really fun, and I really enjoy that. It's just brilliant seeing how the music, you just see them develop each week because they progress so much quicker at that age. You can see the progression really easily. What else do I do? Do youth orchestra, Royal St Cuthbert's Youth Orchestra. Do that on a Friday, and I'm a tutor for Saturday morning orchestra as well.
Fantastic. So I don't think many people know how musical you are, and it's great to have you know, our choir manager being a musician as well, and doing all these other things, because I think you appreciate why music is important, which kind of leads me to my next question, which is why do you think music education is such an important thing for young people?
Oh, that's a big question. There's lots of things I could say, so you'll have to stop me if I start waffling.
That's okay.
Do you know, actually, this is a fact, playing an instrument is the only thing that uses the whole of your brain. Like, you know, if you're sitting there doing maths, you're only using one bit of the brain, or so that's a really interesting thing to know. But from my point of view, music just helps with so many other things. Language, understanding, confidence, social skills, teamwork, determination, perseverance, focus. I could keep going, but I'll stop. There's a big long list. And actually, I think that music improves all the other subjects. If children have got a background in music, they tend, not always, but they tend to excel in other areas as well. And actually, if you think about babies, they'll dance around and they'll make noises and sing before they can even walk and talk. It's just something that it's in there. Music's already in there. You just got to let it out.
And I suppose the Suzuki method actually is quite similar to what we do in choir when we use Kodai in the solfege system. There's a lot of similarities there, aren't there?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, a lot of it's done by ear, and listening and training your ear, which is, I guess, what the Kodai method does. It trains you to hear those intervals and to be able to pitch properly. So it's very similar in that sense. I think actually a lot of Suzuki teachers are Kodai trained as well.
Are they?
Yeah, they've got that background as well. Because the two go hand in hand really nicely.
And so do the Suzuki teachers and all the lessons that you do they include singing as well? Because obviously what we do is focusing on singing. So how much singing do you do when you're learning violin, for example?
I probably do. I mean, maybe not when they're a lot older, but especially when they're first starting, we do singing every lesson.
Do you?
Easily every lesson, yeah. So before they start playing a piece, they already know it in their head. I call it their map. They go listen to it, and if they can sing it, they're able to play it. And if they can sing it, they know which way they're going, and it's how they memorize things and how they pitch the notes. so that you don't have to tell them what notes to play. And a lot of the time, if they've done really good ear training and the singing from the start, they'll come back a few weeks later and go, oh, I've worked out the next piece by myself, and they'll come and play it to you.
That's fantastic, isn't it? And I think it's also really nice to hear that, because you do hear about kids learning an instrument where they do no singing, and perhaps 2 weeks before an exam, the teacher might say, oh, by the way, we better do some oral tests. Whereas clearly you and I are on the same page here. The singing part is part of learning the instrument, and it should be part of the process, shouldn't it?
Absolutely. I actually don't teach them oral tests necessarily, not for the lower grades anyway. We kind of get to, 2 weeks before the exam, and I go, oh, by the way, you've got to do these oral tests. They go, what are they? And we do them, and they go, oh, that was really easy. Because they can already do the things that are in the test. I've just never called it an oral test before.
That's brilliant. So they're just learning without realizing it all the time. Fantastic. So last question really is, I know it's a fairly short space of time, and things have changed in the last few weeks, but what do you like best about working for SC Choirs, the organisation?
I think the people, all the people that work there, and all the children and all the adults in the choirs. I just think it's a really nice atmosphere. It's really friendly. I felt like I fitted in from the second I started. And actually the humour as well. There's a lot of fun that's had. And actually, I really enjoy the music. I'll sit there in rehearsals, and I'm really missing that, actually. I'm really missing being with everybody, but it was really nice to sit at that little desk in rehearsals and just sing along and learn all the songs as they do.
Absolutely. And you have done that with Dynamic Voices as well, haven't you? So
oh yeah, I've actually joined Dynamic Voices now. I don't know how that happened.
An honorary member. No, that's great. And I think, obviously, as you say, things have changed. We're all really missing the weekly rehearsals, and what you're doing with the virtual choir and putting it all together. I know that's a new skill, but we do really appreciate that, because that is something we've never tried before. And it has been done, I think, with other choirs before the lockdown, but of course now we're sort of being forced into it, really. So I'm really excited to see the end result. We haven't quite had everybody's in yet, have we? So we're still waiting for a few.
Yeah, we've had a few sent in now, and actually it sounds really good when you play all of them together. It sounds like a choir. It was definitely new. I'd never done anything like it before, but I really enjoyed learning how to do it and putting them all together. So we just need a few more now. Everyone would be great if we could get everyone in there.
It would be amazing, wouldn't it? And I think that's it. Once it's done, unless we do another one, which we may well do, people have missed out, and we don't want them to miss out, and we don't want them to be too shy either, do we? Because although it might seem like they're doing a solo to record it, which they are effectively, but I've not actually heard a single one. You've heard the end product with them being mixed, but it will sound like a choir, won't it? And I think that's what we want to reassure people really about that.
Yeah, and nobody hears anyone singing alone. When all the parts are playing together, it's merged. They're merged together, and it sounds just like they do in rehearsals.
Yeah, great. Well, I'm really excited to hear that when it's finished, and thanks for all you're doing. And we just hope that soon we can get back to normal rehearsals and see everybody. But in the meantime, it's great to have Zoom and YouTube and the virtual choir. And so thanks again for agreeing to be interviewed, and we'll see you soon, no doubt. And thanks for joining us at home, and we look forward to seeing you for the next interview. Bye for now.